Hello, everyone. How are you this evening? Eilers-Heffner, Sapphire Ambassador, and I'm here for our book club, book study, the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, chapters 10 and 11. So the law of connection and the law of the inner circle. And I think these are this whole book is just so amazing. So we can't go wrong. So, I love that with the law of connection, we can really truly focus on other people, what's in it for them, connecting with people, getting them talking about themselves, because we want to be able to connect. When we're just talking about ourselves and things, then you're not going to be able to inspire someone to want to do this business with you, to try these products with you, when you're not touching on their pain points, on their life, what they're struggling with. And then even just from like a normal friend position, right? A normal everyday thing. You want to say, hey, how are you doing? Like, how is everything? So I don't remember the George W. Bush incident where he flew over New Orleans and didn't get out. And like, I don't remember. I wasn't probably very good about following current events when I was younger. And so I don't remember that being this big thing. But when you read about it in here, you're like, oh my gosh, how could he do that? Like, how insensitive, especially because on 9/11, he was there in person and shaking hands and saying, thank you for your service. And like legit just in with the people. Now my brain also, I'm sure like my brain is like, well, what if something happened? Like, what if his health was different later on? What if he couldn't manage the environment? Or what if his Secret Service people didn't think it would be safe for him to be walking around in public like that, right? Like, I'm kind of like the devil's advocate over here. So, but what was portrayed, what was perceived, and perception is reality, is that he was super insensitive. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you give me a thumbs up? My house is so loud. And I'm sweating because our air is out. And if I shut my door, it's going to be even hotter in here. So anyway, perception is reality. And he was perceived to be very insensitive, very disconnected, right? And I mean, I feel badly when something happens and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I was so caught up in my own world and my own kid stuff and my own whatever, that I didn't connect with this person that I just walked away from, right? And you feel terrible, maybe at church, even at the grocery store. I try really hard, like, hi, how are you? How was your day? Like, how's your day going? Like, no matter how crabby that person is that's checking me out, I still try to like be friendly. So, a little bit of connection can go a long way, right? So I really like how he says that you can't move into action without emotion. And this is why we talk to people about their why and their pain points and how this opportunity and these products can help them. We want them to be emotional about it so that we can move them into action. If someone isn't emotionally tied to what they're doing with this business, they're not going to want to do the action. We've proven that over and over and over and over again, right? You get someone who's like, oh, I'm so excited. You're like, awesome, let's do this. And then they fizzle out because they really weren't invested, but maybe it's because they didn't have that emotional connection to what was in it for them to want them to continue to do the work, right? So that is really important to remember. You cannot move into action without emotion. And just knowing like leaders connect all the time. Like when we go to in-person things, like I just want to talk to everyone. Like I have to say hi, I have to connect. Like I have to connect with people. That's very easy for me. It might be something that other people have to work on. So just these are things that you can keep in mind where we want to really say like care about them, to get them to feel connected. And you can learn to do this quickly. I think like, it's like, oh my gosh, how was your drive? Did everything go okay? Are you doing okay away from your baby? Like I can ask like 6 questions really quick and like get information from people to say, oh, yeah, that's tough to leave your baby. I'm so sorry, but I'm really proud of you for taking this step or whatever, and then it's like, you know what, enjoy. Hey, like mingle. Can I get you anything? And you can move on. It doesn't have to be a 6-hour conversation to connect with someone. And then I liked this too, like talk, like, how do you connect with everyone? Well, you don't, you connect with one person. And so this is important. Like, have you guys ever heard this? That when you're writing a post and you're like, I have to write this perfect post so that everyone that sees it is going to be like, Elizabeth, I want to do this business. That doesn't exist. That's not going to happen. But what you can do is, so say you're in a conversation with Susie Q and she's like, you know, she'd be awesome at this business. You see it, you've vision casted, you're talking to her, whatever. You write a post to Susie. I mean, you don't say, hey, Susie, but you write this post with her in mind so that you can get to her heartstrings, so you can see that she can see herself in this with us, right? And so when there's this whole idea on branding and influencing and whatever. We're not here to be a mass social media influencer. Amber Miller talked about this, like, on that call a couple weeks ago. Like, we want to connect with people. And that's why when you literally, if you are writing a post and you have one person in mind, that is going to connect with that person, hopefully. I mean, there's tricks to the algorithm, like make sure you're in conversation with that person, make sure you're commenting on their wall, and then you go to write a post and you're writing to them. So that really stood out to me. And then also when we're doing our IPA, like, yes, I have my list of people I'm talking to, but I don't talk to all of them the same. I have to talk to that person. Hey, like, I was thinking about you. You've been on my heart because of this. These are things I see in you that would make you great at what I'm doing. Have you ever considered a second stream of income? Like, an additional stream of income? Like, you cannot send one message out, mass message. People will feel that. If you copy and paste, it will be felt. It will not be genuine. Yes, you can take a message and you can use it as a skeleton and personalize it and put your heart into it and connect with them through that. I think that is entirely possible. And there is no one magic message that we all send, that someone sends, to go get a bunch of people signed up and working the business. We have to be individualized with who we're talking to. So I like too how he goes through, like, okay, we need to connect with ourselves. So journaling, positive affirmations, prayer. Those are things that are going to keep us grounded in who we are and knowing whose we are and being able to move forward out of that, right? So that's important, to connect with ourselves. Being authentic in our compliments and our acknowledgements. So definitely, like, not a cheap compliment that's not going to serve anyone well. And people feel that. Like, I think we've all had enough jobs in our life to know when we're just like, hey, good job, versus someone who is like, thank you so much for X, Y, and Z. And it's so sweet, you know, when you hear those actual genuine compliments. Sometimes it takes me a couple of days to write a rank up post or a promotion post or something about someone, because I want it to be perfect and personalized and special to them. I don't want to just slap something up and be like, yep, got their announcement up. Like, no. So sometimes I'm like, okay, just give me a minute. And I also am very, like, I want people to see it. So I try to post it at a time that it will be more visible for people, so that we can celebrate even more. Anyway, and then just knowing your audience, we've kind of covered that already. Getting people talking about them so that we can help solve their problem. Like, people want to talk about themselves, and get them talking, get to know them more. We talk about this all the time, like, be a product of the products, be an example. We say this to our kids. We try to be good people so that our kids have a good example to look up to. Like, this is pretty normal stuff that I think we hear. So being an example of someone who I think I've said this on calls before, but I had a friend at work go, why are you talking to her? Why are you nice to her? I'm like, hey, it's not my job to judge or how she's going to treat me, but it is my job to be nice to everyone. Like, I'm not best friends with her. I tell this to my kids, like, you don't have to be best friends with everyone, but you do need to be respectable and kind. Like, I'm just going to go piss everybody off around me. Like, that doesn't work. Right. going to where people are. I loved that if you're at convention, John Maxwell was like, I have got, like, he did not like where they placed him on the stage. He was like, nope, I'm moving this table, I'm moving this stool. And it was pretty funny because he just felt like he was so far away from his audience and he didn't like it. And so he moved where he was to come closer. Sure, the camera guys and the lighting guys were like freaking, that's what my husband said. He just moved out of the light, you know? Like, well, and then I also, again, I'm like, well, what about these people in the back that he isn't close to at all? Like I don't know, do they feel more removed from him? I don't know. Again, my brain just doesn't stop. And then again, focusing on what's in it for them. Like, why are we having these conversations? Like, people don't want to be salesy, right? Then don't be salesy. Talk to people about how this opportunity, these products are going to help them. And believing in them. I loved this. This was good. People's opinion of us has less to do with what they see in us than it does with what we can help them see in themselves. I'm like, boom, there you go, right? Helping people see what they can see in themselves and believe that they can do more and that they can achieve more and that they can dream more and that they can give more. Like, helping them to just believe in themselves. I literally left. I have a girl that I am prospecting and I don't know her, but I know, and I told her this in a 3-minute voice message, like, listen, there might be a lot of things you're going to have to learn. I'm sure there's a lot of things that you don't know about this business. I'm sure you have a lot of questions for me and I will answer them, but this is what I know. In 21 years of working in healthcare, you are the exception. You are the one that wants to go above and beyond and do your job and do it well. And you're kind and calm and collected through the whole thing. So I know that you can do and be successful in this with me. Like, or I didn't say with me. I know you can be successful in this business. So just like helping her see, like, you're not normal. Like, you might feel normal because you're just you over here doing your job at work, but she's not. Like, hello, 21 years in healthcare. So that's a tip. If you are talking to somebody on at the doctor's office, the dentist, and they are like exceptionally like, oh wait, you are refreshing to talk to, then you say, hey, this is what I did. Hey, I know you don't know me. You know, my primary source of income is actually working on social media, doing a health and wellness company. Have you ever thought of an additional stream of income? And she was like, well, yeah, I would be interested in that. Can I do it while I'm working full time? I'm like, yes, girl, I got you. I've done it for years. We can do this together. So anyway, there's your tip. Okay, offering direction and hope. Leaders are hope dealers. There's a lot of people put on their, you know, maybe their profile on Facebook or Instagram, like hope dealer, hope dealer. I'm like, yes, we are hope dealers. Leaders are hope dealers. We're drawing out in others what they can't see for themselves. We're drawing out and helping them to take those next steps. So anyway, just helping people know that they shouldn't have to come to us for everything, knowing that we care. I've had this happen a few times, like, hey, we have this scheduled coaching call. And then I get on the phone with my girl and it's happened a few times, different people. And I'm like, so how's it going? You know, how's your week been? Well, I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Tell me like how you're like, okay, what can I help you with? Like, not plexus, like, just, do you want some advice on that issue? Like, I'm like, you don't need to be coached on your plexus business right now. You need a friend. Like, you need someone to just know that you're not alone, that I'm here for you. And I am your friend always and forever, first before any business activity. That's happened over the years, and that's okay, right? That means that we're being a good leader. And then we hopefully can get a rescheduled call and get some coaching done as well. But anyway, and then I also was like, go John Maxwell, when he had this conversation with this big, tall, huge gym guy who was influential, but kind of mean and rude. And he was like, listen, dude, you're going to be around for a while. We can work together or we can not work together. And if we don't work together, you might win at first, but then I'm going to start winning. Like, I'm going to influence this church. And, you know, and he just called him out on his stuff. And I was like, And John Maxwell put this in the connection chapter, you guys. This wasn't in the calling people out chapter. This was in the connection chapter. And so I guess we need to, not I guess, what I take from that is that as leaders, we need to feel empowered to have difficult conversations with people, because when we do say, like, hey, this, like, you're here for this whole team, you're here for this whole church, you're here for this whole organization, you're here for this family. Like, we have to figure out a way to work together, or we're gonna be butting heads. And then there's winners and losers, not everybody winning together, right? Like, he really, I'm like, John Maxwell, I don't know. Like, you guys, I'm pretty good about saying tough things. And I'm like, whoa, I was impressed by that. And then, yeah, this has to be mentioned. The Southwest airline, Herb, guys, that guy, Keller, and his whole organization just was like, thank you for this. And that whole list of stuff, you can read it. I'm not rereading it. And like, thank you for kissing everyone, right? And we mean everyone. Like, can you imagine being recognized on that level? Like, that's incredible. That's like Jamie Haskin at convention getting the One Plexus Award. And like, I'm crying, I'm trying to video, or kids are out there. I mean, that's Jamie, right? That's Jamie having this huge outreach with us, even though she doesn't even realize it. So anyway, and other people too, but we just know her, right? And then the law of the inner circle, no one succeeds alone, no one. It just, to think that, oh, they're just a really good leader and they're no, we work together. And really being intentional, like, and most people are not very intentional about who they're close friends with. And I've actually talked, to my daughter about this, like, because I was seeing stuff when she was younger, like 6th grade. And I'm like, these are the friends you're choosing? Like, it was a little concerning. And then again, it goes back to that beginning of this conversation, right? Like, be kind to everyone, be nice. But then you're like, okay, like, how can I help you see that the quality of those you surround yourself with is super important? And it just came with talking and conversation, and definitely not like, well, I don't want you hanging out with her, because that's not going to work, right? That's going to drive them to them. And now as she's going into 10th grade, I'm just like, well, tell me about this. Well, how did you know this about that person that you didn't want to hang out with them? Like, what made you make that choice to think, oh, they're probably not the best person to hang out with and stuff? And just her thought process, like, is really impressive. I'm just so grateful. So anyway, looking for people that have complementary gifts, looking for people that add value. Like this, when we're looking for prospects to do this business with, we're looking for people that are adding value, that are influential, that have gifts that we don't, right? Like, that's what we want. I'm following all these people that know how to organize their closets and house, and I'm like, those are the people I need in my life over here. And then moving on, so identify, cultivate, and recruit. So this is what we should be doing, right? We are looking for those people that have influence, that have some value to add, that are already doing that. We're going to cultivate them. We're going to recruit them. We're going to cultivate them and get people doing this with us. So there's those 3 types of people: the up and running people. They're like, I'm on, let's do it, motivated, coachable, all the things. The skeptical people, and then the negative people. And we recruit all of these types for definitely the products, I'm sure the business, because we're all working on recruiting for the business specifically, right? And so what I think we tend to do, our natural instinct, is let me go and help these negative people not be so negative. Let me help them be positive. Let me help them. And really, that can happen. But a lot of times it's good that you can say, okay, hey, here's the personal growth chat. Like, here's your path. Like, hey, get on our book club, read the books. Hey, watch this video. Like, you can still guide them, but you're not going to spend all your time there. And we really want to spend in this, is this the Partlow law, whatever, like the 80-20 rule. So we want to spend 80% of our time with the top 20% of our network, of our workers, of our, that's where we want to spend our time. Because when we are around positive people that are motivated and working and coachable, then it's all like this, feedback loop of positivity versus I'm going to spend all this time over here and just get frustrated, and you don't want them to drag you down. So, and then we never stop improving our inner circle. Like, how cool is it to think like Fallon, she does not have to, well, okay, back up. So Fallon says like she said, I was negative. And Lori Welch finally told her, Lori Bradford said, I can't help you anymore. Like, these are the books you need to read. Like, legit was like, nope, here you go. And Fallon went over a lot of this on Monday's call too, like the mindset work and things that she did, right? And now she's sitting in the place where if people are not like people she can see herself at being in her inner circle, she doesn't necessarily want to work with them. Like, she has to decide. And we still are like, yeah, I'll work with you. I'll give it a shot, right? Like, I'm not going to turn anybody down that wants to make money, go be healthier. Like, it doesn't always stick. I'm not always going to pull them out of their negativity, but I'm not going to turn anybody away. So anyway, and then just find the best leaders you can. And I think that is just something we really need to resonate, like stick it on a sticky note at your workstation, like find the best leaders you can. And our team has a lot of yellow. And so we have a lot of people that just recruit for the products, and they're super sick and they have 12 autoimmune disorders and they're negative. Well, I mean, it's not hard to be negative when you're in pain or have a lot of health issues all the time. Let me say that, because I've been there and I really had to fight negativity when it hurt to do every single thing I did all day long, right? That's a lot to fight. So I understand why it's hard to be in a good mood when you're just hurting all of the time. But our team is like, I'm going to fix you with the triplex. And then they detox and they're done in 2 weeks. And it's this whole mess, right? Like, it happens. Our team is very good about recruiting people that need to be helped. And that's fine. We're always going to recruit those people because they come back. They keep following us. We're still their friend. And some people do stick with it. I stuck with it. I detoxed. I stuck with it. Tiffany Wilson was majorly detoxing, and Fallon got her to stick with it, right? So we can help sick people too, but we also have got to be helping people that are already beyond some of this negative mindset stuff. Like, we have to do that too, so that we can improve our leadership and we can improve our team and we can improve our inner circle. So, all right, that's what I have for you. So hopefully you have some things to say too.
I do. I was waiting to see if anyone was gonna beat me to it. That part where John Maxwell had to confront that really rude, big personality guy at that church. It made me, and then you started talking about Fallon and Lori Bradford, who is now Lori Welch, right? Opposite.
Yeah, she used to be Lori Welch. Now it's Lori Brett. So okay. I slip and say Lori Welch because that's how I knew her when I started.
Gotcha. Well, can you imagine so she went diamond in 11 months, right? But she was doing all this hard stuff that, for me, I have a situation right here, I know I have to do. And this is bringing it back to my attention. It's just right in front of my face. But anyway, she was just she saw Fallon's potential. Obviously, she had tons of potential, but she's like, I still can't help you. She laid it right out. You have to do this. I can't help you anymore. If she could have she probably did have all those thoughts, well, I don't want to scare her away, or I don't want her to quit or think I'm rude. There was all those thoughts. And those are the thoughts that I have too. But that guy at that church, same thing with John Maxwell, those strong leaders still need influence from other people stronger than them. So they still need to be led and follow someone else. So, in our Ruby calls, Fallon and Jamie are always don't be just a cheerleader. You still have to be a coach. That was kind of the same thing. you know, kind of lost my train of thought there, but the strong personalities, the ones that we want, sometimes I at least have found sometimes I'm a little hesitant to tell them the hard thing because I don't want to have it come across like, you know, the wrong way or turn them off in some way. When really I need to just be like, listen, say it straight up, because actually they end up respecting it in the long run because they have whatever you want to call it, potential, or, you know, I don't know. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
I do. I got you.
Well, and I think too, even no matter what level we're at, whoop, was I frozen?
You're good.
Okay, thanks. So having those relationships and always wanting to raise our lids and the people that we surround each other by. I mean, Elizabeth and I will still go back and forth with each other, even at this level. Sorry, my kid's driving. Um, yeah, but it's okay. If we're not going to die, but we'll go back and forth after a call or something, and we'll ask each other, hey, do you have any feedback on this? Can you help me with this? How can I do this better? Because we all need to keep doing that, and we want to elevate each other because we want to elevate our team. So when you're surrounding yourself with good people that you know and love and trust, those people can give it to you straight. So I think that that's really important. And no matter what level you're at, to make sure that you're asking for that feedback and that you're willing to accept it and that you're willing to give that, because that is how we all learn and grow. So that was something that I thought of as we're working on this.
I was going to chime in. I agree wholeheartedly with having those connections. Being a connector is one of my top strengths. Sorry. So like I love building those relationships and connecting with others on a deeper, more meaningful level. And when you do that with your team and you do that with your even your VIP customers, your business builders, you're able to have those conversations with them. You're able to connect with them on a deeper level and not be just a cheerleader, but be that coach. If someone's goal is to lose weight and they're not losing weight, but although they're taking the triplex or, sorry, did the reset or whatever, you have to have the conversation of like, okay, well, what does your diet look like? Tell me how much water are you drinking? Are you exercising? You have to have those difficult conversations with them because they could be taking their products, but they could be eating McDonald's every day or, making unhealthy choices. Same thing, if you didn't have that relationship with them and you're kind of bringing this to light, that they need to change their diet habits, they could take that completely wrong and that could go very badly. Same thing with the business builder. You have to have that relationship with your business builder and your team, so you're able to have the difficult conversations so they can receive it in a positive way, knowing that it's coming from a place of love and, coming from a place of your heart. And so having that, connection with them is so important because, it is hard to have that difficult conversation. They really, truly need to know where your heart is and that you're having this to help them grow. And it's for, it's going to serve them in the long run. So yeah, the law of connections, it's huge in this business. Also, the law of the inner circle is just so important in life in general, no matter if you're doing the business or not. You know, if you're around people eating McDonald's every day, guess what? You're going to eat McDonald's every day. If you're around the people going to the gym every day, you're going to be going to the gym every day. If you're around the people that are driven, goal oriented, growth minded, you're going to be, you know, driven, you know, goal oriented, growth minded. You know, it's so who you surround yourself is so important. And also, and Elizabeth said this too, we have so many yellows on our team, which is awesome. I mean, that's just the nature of who we are. And that's a good, amazing trait to have, but also kind of looking at your inner circle and saying, okay, I need somebody who can push me more, not just kind of pat me out, you know, hug me when I'm sad type of thing. You know, like we all need those type of people, but we also need people to kind of maybe light a fire under you once in a while, you know, pull out your red personality, somebody who, you know, challenges you to, you know, learn more about the products and dig deeper into the facts, you know, pull out the green in you, you know, somebody, you know, sometimes if you're too red and you're too focus on goal, you need someone to be like, hey, lighten up, like, let's earn this cruise together and have some fun. You know, you need to get your blue pulled out, you know, so surrounding yourself with like-minded people with different maybe personality traits or different skills that you don't have to kind of pull those out of you to make you well-rounded as well. So I think, you know, the law of the inner circle, it's great to teach your kids this from a very young age. It makes the teenage years a lot better when they are able to choose, you know, their inner circle and go through that. You know, even us, you know, as adults, it's so important to have too. So I will be quiet now and let others talk because I know I can go on and on.
Thank you. You guys are awesome. I love this. So, all right, come on. I don't want to have to call names, but I've had conversations with a few of you over the last week. So I feel like you should have something to say about this. Even though we didn't talk specifically about this, I feel like you should have a takeaway.
Okay, I'll say something. She's calling me out. I'm hesitant though because my husband is in the other room and he's snoring so loud.
We
So you
can't
guys
hear.
might hear that.
My
Sorry.
kid had a movie on, and I'm like, we should have insulated this office when we built it, and we didn't. So I'm like,
Yeah.
that's why I was like, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah,
You're good.
sounds like a freight train. So sorry. But anyways, so in chapter 10, the law of connection, that really spoke to me because I think over the last couple of years, really, just I feel like the Lord's been bringing to my attention how much our words matter, you know, like everything we say matters. And for a long time, I think I felt like my words didn't matter. So I think just reflecting on, I'm sorry, I'm nervous, different times in my life where people have spoken to me and where I've maybe spoken to someone else, or I've heard stories of people who've talked about like how this one particular person came into their life and just said maybe something small that they didn't even think was significant, but that ended up changing like the whole trajectory of that person's life, right? So I think about that and how it relates to this business, that everything we do and every connection that we make really matters because we can be making such a difference in other people's lives, right? So that's my biggest takeaway from it.
Oh, I love it. Thank you for sharing. It was amazing. And you're actually a very good connector. You are very good, and you are very good with your words. So here's my confession. I'm like, okay, Dana, I'm gonna meet you at the gym. I'm gonna meet. We're like, are we gonna do it? Yep, we're gonna do it. And the one day I just turned my alarm off or something, like slept through everything. And she's so sweet. Like, here's Dana. I hope everything's okay. And it was such a nice way to be like, I missed you. Like, what happened? Like, just, I hope everything's okay. I'm like, I'm okay. I just messed up. Like, I missed my alarm, you know? And it was so sweet. I've met other friends over the years at the gym, and they'll be like, where are you? Where are you? Why aren't you here? Like, you're running late. Like, you know, trying to hold me accountable, but just kind of, and Dana's so sweet about it. So know that, Dana, you are a very good connector. You have, and your words are very important to others for sure. You guys are local and you know good air conditioning guy, send me your number, because my husband's trying to track down the guy that fixed it last time and hasn't. So I'm like, just funny. Anybody have anything else? All right, I'm gonna stop the recording. Thank you so much for getting on, everybody.